Here the agenda is that we start with one activity, that is Mentimeter, which we learned the previous session, and then we go to a video which is telling us what is differentiated instruction. Then we move on when we can use and why we should use differentiated instruction, how many ways of differentiated instruction. Then we have a video which says that how we can differentiate based on content. Then I present some tools which I'm using for my mathematics class as an example. Then we move to process and tool. That is another method of differentiating. Product and tool, environment and tool, and then again one activity that is based on the Padlet, which we learned the last series. And again, I'm very thankful because I'm using it. There we have question and answer, which you would like to ask to us and share your thoughts. Then I share the resources which I have used for this presentation, and then we move on to conclude the session. So the first one is the activity on Mentimeter. How many of you are using differentiation in your class? You all have to do two things either way. You can do that. First one is that type menti.com in your browser and use 560081 and write your name if you want and response that yes, I'm using, no, or maybe. The other way is that I'll be trying to share with you all the link of that in the chat box, and you can use that directly for posting your responses. I can see someone has already started posting it, maybe, and we all will wait for some time for people to vote on this.
So can you share your screen to check the code again?
Yeah, I'll just share your screen again. It is 560081. Just type menti.com in your browser and use 560081. And other way, you can see the link in your chat box and you can go through that. So I again go back and see that how many of you are using that particular way of teaching in your classrooms. And I can see many of them you are using it in their classroom. That is great to hear. And few of you are telling us maybe. We'll wait for a few more minutes so that people can vote for this. You all can see the screen. It is coming as maybe yes. And I'm very, very thankful to CENTA again because they have given us the training to use Mentimeter. And you can see how interesting it is to see the response, what we are discussing now. So it is a mixed kind of situation where few people are using and few people are not using differentiation as of now. So I start the next topic, which is video. And this is one video taken by me because of the reason I was influenced to do this session. And also the lady is the pioneer in the work called as differentiated instruction. Her name is Carol Ann, and I'm showing you all the video, and I will try to share the link again in your chat box so that if you would like to see the video directly, you can see as share the link. Yeah, I'll share the link in the chat box. Telling what she was speaking. Is that fine?
Yeah, sure. And probably people can then watch the video later.
So basically, she is telling us. So basically, what we are trying to talk about is that when the students come to the class, they all are having different learning style. They are different level of learning they are at, and also they have different interest. Now we as a teacher has an accountability that they all come to the level or come to the extent which we want them to come, in spite of the classroom having different children. And that is what differentiated instruction does. That is taking care of all the children in the classroom and trying to make ways that all of them, in spite of their different individuality, come to the level which you are expecting them to be at. And that is the meaning what she explains is differentiated instruction. And she is the one who is the pioneer in this particular field. And there are a lot of videos and resource materials presented by her, which is there available on the website, which I'm going to share later at the last moment when we are concluding. I go to the next point, that is when we can use differentiated instruction. When we are taking class for a mixed group of students, according to their characteristic such as readiness, that how much knowledge, skills they have, and up to what level they have reached already, or up to what level they want to be at. So that is readiness level. Interest means how and how, where the children are looking at and interested to see while studying, and how you can bring that interest part in teaching and learning. Learning style, most of us we know, is something called as where we have learner of different kind, which have children sitting in class as learner who are kinesthetic, or learner who are auditory, or visual learners. So that is we all must be knowing. The next we go is why we do differentiated instruction. This is very important for us as a teacher to understand. And there is few points written at the left and few points written at the right, which I'm going to highlight now. We usually think that success comes from being smart. That is, children who are either sitting in classroom or online, they are already smart. Some kids are smart and some aren't, because they are genetically, because of which they are like that. That is also sometimes our thought is there. Teachers can't override student profile. We all think that they come from different background. That is why they cannot do what we want them to do. That is the meaning of why in earlier kind of concept which we had as a teacher. But when we have this differentiated instruction, we know that success comes with hard work. Anyone who is working very hard can become successful. Most of students can do most of the things which we want to do, and they can come to the level which we want them to come to. Teachers can override students' profile. We as a teacher can think that students are unique, though they come with different profile and different situation, maybe the family background, social income, and so on. But that doesn't affect what the students want to learn and what we want to teach them. And that is why this particular differentiation is very much important when we do or take the class in a particular situation. We go to something called as nose of differentiated instruction. What is not differentiated instruction? Here, every learner gets different things to do. Suppose we have got 35 students, it will be very, very hard for us to do 35 things for 35 learners. So this is not what we are trying to aim at when we are differentiating instruction. It is not that every child will get different things to do. But yes, learning wise, we want them to learn what we want, and every learner should be coming to that particular level. That is our meaning of differentiation. It is not chaotic because of the way we are using it in the classroom, doing many things at the same time. Here, the classroom management is very, very systematic when we do differentiated instruction. It is not chaotic, and it is very smoothly run system where whatever we are doing in the class is very, very systematic and planned and smooth. It is also not another way of grouping. Sometimes we have grouped children, making one group of children sitting in one particular class and making another group of children sitting in another group, another class. It is not that. It is different way of instructing by combination of different things. It is not just making a particular homogeneous grouping according to different levels. So that is another no. Then what is yes? What is differentiated instruction is, it is student centered, and it is not only one student centered, it is student who are sitting in the class, whether it's online or offline. Whoever are the children, we are accountable for all the children sitting in the class. And that is what differentiated instruction is about. I always tell that teachers are the doctors of students' education, because they come to us for that everyone should come to particular expectation. And that is why I use that term very often with me in my staff room, that we are the doctors of students' education, and we should prescribe things so that it works for the students, and we are accountable for that. Second yes is that it is more qualitative than quantitative. We all need and know that we need time for our syllabus to be completed. We have a lot of portion to be done. When we go to higher classes, we can see that thing in our concept in my mind or our mind. But we should also be thinking that when the presentation of something has been done to the children, whether it has poured in to their understanding, or whether they have understood the concept or not. The last one is, it is rooted in instruction, that is teaching and learning, and that is what the meaning of differentiated instruction is all about. Again, we go to the next particular thing, that is how many types. Generally, there are many types. Basically, we have four important types of differentiation. The first one is the content, that is what we are teaching to the children, or what they are learning, or what they want to learn. The process, this is what we want the students to do when a particular thing is happening, a particular subject is happening. Product, that is a very important term again. It is to be used generally at the end of topic. It may be a term assessment, assignment, and so on. And we want them to show that what they have learned and what we wanted them to learn. This is called as product. The last one is also very important. That is the environment, that differentiated environment. that is the space around. And once we discuss one by one all of them, then we'll get more idea about what we are talking about. We go to the video again. This is again a very renowned person who is having a research based training center in US, and we would like to go through this video again, and I will try to put the link when we see this video and try to get some understanding that how the content can be differentiated. Okay. This video is about differentiating the class as per content, where a teacher of mathematics has given sums to the class as 3 levels. That is 3 ways he wants them to do the sums. One of the ways that they want to get the support from the teacher. One is that they want to do by getting the support and alone. They are not very sure. And one group is doing who can do the sums very easily. And that is why he has given the same material to the children, but he has written at the top who needs the support, who would like to do some extended survey on the same topic, that is little higher level of survey. And the third one is maybe they want or they may not be wanting the support. That is what he has done the video. Now I come to the discussion with my tool about the same. Before that, let us see some few of the strategies which we use for differentiated instruction. It should be concept-based teaching. It should be curriculum compacting, which I was just talking that if the children are of little higher standard or level, we use something called as curriculum compacting for them because they know the stuff, so they can do little higher studies or higher research on the same topic. We can use varied text and resource materials for presenting content. Content is, as I was telling, that something the children should know and what we want them to learn. There's a learning contract. There's another strategy which we use. Mini lessons, we make lessons in a small or miniature form and present to the children. We have varied support system, peer and adult mentors. Here I request or give my experience that it is working very nice for my class, where I made some small group where one child is using another child as mentor, and this is helpful because most of the time our classes are very huge, that is around 35 or 40 children, and we cannot go very near to all the children and take content for everyone. But once you are presenting content to the children, the peer support is working very well for me, and that is what I'm just giving as a suggestion for all of you. Now, as I was telling you that what we are discussing today is very basic of differentiated instruction, I have taken a tool for content based on the readiness of the children. That is how much they know and where they have to progress. Now, when we do that, I always feel that language development is to be there because we all use at home our mother tongue, and most of our school is English medium schools, but they don't use that language at home. I say that when you take the content, there should be reading of that particular content by the children, writing about that particular topic in the class, listening about that content, and speaking about that particular content, be that any subject. especially generally, or if we know with example, we don't have this kind of language development done for the subjects like mathematics, for the subjects like science, and so on. Maybe reading is there, but listening or speaking may be very less. But I always feel, and I've done last 2 3 years when I'm teaching mathematics, I read all the things which is given in the chapter with the student and tell them what to write and listen to what we are speaking and tell them to speak about it. That is what I do for the language development of a subject which I call. The second thing is subject development. As I was telling you, when the content was discussed for the video, we have something called as content for the chapter, but there is some basic of content to be given and advance of the content to be given. Let's see another thing which I'm doing in the class of mathematics, where I'm teaching fraction, for example, and I'm talking about not language development now, but subject development, and that is the content wise and according to children level. What I do if the content is addition of fraction, how do we add fraction? What I do is I see the children's level, and if needed, I go to some basic thing which I put in the right side of the board, where if needed, I explain LCM. What is the meaning of LCM? Because many children may not know that basic. And then multiples, suppose we still go a little more basic of that before LCM, and so on, maybe in the numbers if they don't know. And same way, suppose advanced children are sitting in the class, what I do is we give certain higher kind of solution to be done for the problems given. For example, I can give multiplication of fraction and its application for children who are in advance. But all of them are learning about fraction and addition. It is not that we are giving different thing to different children. All of them are doing addition of fraction, and their main goal is to understand that content, that is addition of fraction. And if they are higher up there, that is very good. But if they are not there, we support them to come up to that level. Again, this can be done when you're teaching online, and it can be done when you're teaching in the classroom itself. Now, next one is the break, which we'll take for a minute. That is generally what is I do in my meetings. On a lighter note, I would share one situation to you all to just relax and listen. A student came to the house and told to the parents, Papa, Mama, I have got one get together tomorrow in the school, and you both are invited. The parents were very happy to know that, okay, my child has got invitation to visit to the school. And they were very happy, and they told and asked the child, okay, that is very good. Can you tell me who are the invitees for that particular meeting? The child innocently told that it is me, that is the child, you both as a parent, and the principal. So on that lighter note, I would like to tell you to accept our children who are very unique and work on their part as our accountability to make them learn what we want to learn. We move on to our discussion further with the second kind of basics on the process. Process means many things which the students do after each things which we are doing in the class. It is not the end kind of task, but the very immediate task you want the children to do. Few strategies for the same will be graphic organizers students can present. We can do cubing for them, role play, jigsaw, think, pair and share, model making, and many such kind of thing which you must be doing And as we do differentiated instruction, knowingly or unknowingly, many of the things which we already do for the children. I take another topic, that is math, which I'm taking for class 6th. The topic is fraction again. And this time I am trying to discuss them about fraction itself. Now I'm differentiating the process, that is the task they are doing, by learning style. That is how the auditory learner can present the task. I ask them to speak something about the fraction and listen to something which I'm telling and answer me after some time, or if someone else is speaking. That is how I cover auditory learners in my class. Then for visual learner, I do some writing to be done and reading about fraction. I would like to tell all the, or request the teachers that please tell the students to keep one rough notebook always for what you want them to write and note about. And the writing can be about a topic itself, but the writing part is very important for those who are visual learner. And that is, again, I'm talking about basic of differentiation, where this kind of learners in every topic has to be taken care, and this has to be done in all the units which you are doing for few minutes or few of the classes which you are taking for particular topic. The last one is very important, that is kinesthetic learner. What I do is I ask them to come over the board and do the sums. So that is the one kind of learner who is always wanting to do something and present themselves. That is based on the learning style. And that is how the fraction which I teach for class 6 in mathematics. And I find that I can take care of this three different kind of learner. Whatever we are discussing, that is differentiated instruction, can be presented and done in many other ways, and we all are having no particular set of rules what we want to do when we are doing differentiated instruction. Here I am just sharing my experience and the way which I am doing, but all of you must be doing in different ways. And as I told, there is no particular set of rules for setting up class for differentiated instruction. I move to the next one, which is the product differentiation. There should be small understanding between product and the previous one, which is process. That's why I highlighted that point. Process means the small things which you are doing in the class after, say, few discussions. But the product means the end of certain topic or a particular topic which you want the child to be assessed. And what I've done in my particular class for math, say the topic fraction, based on the interest of the students, that is another basic thing which I'm doing, is to tell them to make a project on fraction in different ways, where the main idea of fraction which I want them to present, they have to present. For example, how you can add fraction, how you can subtract fraction, but they can do in many ways. They can show, maybe making a model, maybe chart work, and so on, and they present it. We also keep in my mind, or our mind, Bloom's taxonomy, which we have to use, formative assessment, where we need to give support to the children, and that is very important when we are assigning something to the children, so that we know what we have to work upon when we are trying to build them to go to the higher standard and also to the higher achievers. Same way, summative assessment. Basically, summative assessment we have at the end of the term, but again, most of the boards, we have something related to formative assessment as well. For example, in science, we have got something called as practicals, and there is some marks given for the theory part and practical part. So that formative assessment makes certain contribution here as well. But a summative assessment mostly now is growing in our country as well, where we can see that the different level of examination is happening, especially for mathematics. We can see in one of the board which we have that there are two levels of mathematics examination is happening, and then there is certain differentiation we can see even in the making of question paper for the children, which is good because students can choose what they want to take based on their level and their interest. The last one is something called as environment basic, that how do we differentiate the environment of the classroom. Because my teacher treats me with respect, I feel a sense of dignity in this place. That is very important. We have to make not only physical environment differentiated, but also there should be a thought of how we can have a respect created in the classroom for whatever we are doing. And that is why I go through this particular slide one by one, and it is very motivating for us and for the children, because my teacher treats every one of us with respect. We are respectful of one another because my teacher sees our possibilities. I am beginning to see them too, because my teacher says sweat makes winner. We are learning to sweat. This is very important because we want everyone to understand that they can come to any level, and that is why working hard is very important. And how to work hard, how to take this particular scenario into consideration of us, and this depends upon the motivation of the children as well as we as the teachers. Because my teacher works hard for me, I want to work hard for her. Because my teacher won't settle for less than our best, we aim high very often. Naturally, we don't want to give up for the students whom we think that they cannot learn. And that is why this particular environment, and that is a basic of environment, is very important, where the children respect each other's learning and so on. Because my teacher says we are responsible for any one another, we help one another to succeed. And that is what I was telling, that when I have taken mentorship kind of strategy in my class, I can feel the children are very cooperative, and they go to the children, they want to sit together, and they're working on the sums, and they're doing very well. And a few scenario is very motivating for me, where I saw the child who was not doing very well last year is doing very good this year because of the strategies which I have been using. And they have come up with the studies, and when I see their answer, this amazing thing to realize that yes, we can see a positive change in a child who was not very well. And also the children who are doing very well, they are also trying to help and trying to learn more and more in the classroom. Because my teacher helps us to see ourselves through her eyes. We see hope in ourselves, and we should not give up, as I was telling you, because our teacher is a great coach. We are a great team. So our classroom should be a team where there should be an understanding among the children that they all want to come up to best of the standard. And is it possible? And it is possible because of the strategy. Now, what I do in math, again, class 6 fraction, the topic, how I differentiate environment based on interest is that I tell them to make some word wall, chart papers, and on the subjects which I'm teaching, in topics which I'm teaching, and the ground rules which we use generally. Many schools, they call it as golden rules, and we use it to make the environment very, very conducive for learning, so that not only it is very attractive, it is not only differentiated with the subjects and topics, but it is also very much ownership which we create to the child, who is telling that, okay, we are owned by the teacher, and teacher likes me, whoever it is, and that is why he wants to learn in that environment. And that environment is what we call it as environment of trust and environment of respect with each other. That is the basic what I am trying to give you, dear teachers. Now, as we are trying to come to the end of the presentation which I wanted to have, I would like to have the other activity which we have done earlier, that is Padlet, where whatever questions which you have or whatever you want to share as what you are doing in your classroom, it will be an interesting topic to discuss now or see through this particular few minutes which we have left, and then we are done with the session, and we can conclude after that particular things. So I'm putting this particular Padlet in your chat box also. Otherwise, all of you can type this as https double dot and then padlet.com principal 10509 act 1, and pose your questions if you have, because today was the first presentation on this particular topic, and I thought, as Anne tells, that we should start from the basics to the advanced, simple to the complex, slow to the fast, and so on. So I kept the discussion very, very simple and very basic to all of us. Maybe now we can share how we see it, and if anything comes out, we can share with each other. So I'm putting that in our chat box, that particular activity. I would like everyone to be in that activity as of now.
Just a minute here, sir. Karthik here. I think a few of our teachers have asked a few questions. So would you want to just go through that quickly as well to see if we can respond to them?
Yeah, that's what, Karthik, thank you. What I was thinking, that we can do this
Mm-hmm.
particular activity, and they can try to do that activities, and then we can discuss that on that particular
Sure,
activity as well, because that is learning
sure,
for us
sure,
also, to how to use that activity.
sure.
So that link is already there, and we can now try to go on that activity
Sure,
as well.
sure.
Yeah, someone is asking, can you suggest more resources on it? As I go to the last slide of my presentation, there are resources which are very, very nice. Especially, you can have one particular book itself, which is in PDF form. That is Carroll and Tomlinson Work on Differentiated Instruction. There's a booklet which has a very detailed planning and methodology for using differentiated instruction in classroom, and that is the resource which I've used for my presentation. And same way, there's a video which was having a issue. I forgot to tell you that that is actually a thing which I purchased for my own sessions and learning, and that is why, sorry for that, that many of you could not open that particular link as well. But you can note down that particular link as well, because not only for differentiated instruction, but that is very important for many other things which is happening in the classroom. So you can try to see that how you can acquire one particular set of copy for the second resource which I'm doing. So I've shared the resources, and I can see the activities happening. So again, I thank Center for training on this particular aspect of online education and how we use more examples. I could not give more examples because there were many things to be covered, and it was a very short period. Any suggestion on categorizing the student based on their multiple intelligence? Yes, as I told you, there are three ways which I've discussed: auditory learners and like kinesthetic learner. You can go through that particular book and you can have a look, and we can discuss same thing once we can have that time to do that particular thing. More examples. So as I told you, that examples can be given because it is very short duration to discuss something which is of a lot of things to be discussed. So I feel that maybe in some other ways we can discuss the same thing and we can share our experiences and knowledge about the same.
This is Priyanka from Center. We will soon start a discussion thread on My Center discussion forum, on which you all can contribute to ask queries and answer each other's queries and make this discussion go forward.
Yeah, so I think we are done with the presentation, Ramya ma'am. I would like to thank Center for bringing us together on this particular topic. And before I end, I would like to go on the lighter note again, where there was a principal giving a workshop to the teachers, and during the workshop, the principal saw that one of the teacher was sleeping at the back. So the principal goes at the back and asks very politely to that teacher, "Dear teacher, what happened? You are not listening to me and you are sleeping." Then the teacher told very carefully that, "Sir, your voice is so sweet, that's why I'm sleeping." And then he asked, "What about other teachers?" Very nicely he told that they are not listening. So thank you, dear teachers, for your time, and thank you, Center, for giving me this opportunity to discuss this important topic. Ramya?
I think there are some issues with Ramya's Wi-Fi, so she just got disconnected.
Sure. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Joseph. Priyanka here. I would also
Okay,
like to thank you to take your time for
fine,
this
fine.
session.
So we
Yeah. Thanks a lot,
yeah,
Mr. Joseph, for
thank you
your
for the
time.
session,
And
all
I
of
hope
you.
all the teachers found this particular session useful, and will try to bring more and more useful sessions to all of you. So please do check out My Center app and register for more sessions as they do come. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye, all of you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.